It's 2 pieces of bread, a piece of fried chicken, dill pickles, and a squirt of mayo. Who would have thought such a humble sandwich could set off a fast food war? In fast food, Chick-Fil-A has long dominated the chicken sandwich. This simple sandwich is part of what propelled Chick-fil-A to its spot as the third biggest fast food chain in the US, despite being closed on Sundays. Chick-fil-A's race to the top has scared even McDonald's, whose US franchisees asked corporate to develop a worthy competitor to Chick-fil-A's sandwich. In the summer of 2019, a formidable opponent to Chick-fil-A emerged, and it wasn't McDonald's. Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen introduced its crispy chicken sandwich, and conflict started to brew. The sandwich challenged Chick-fil-A's dominance in the chicken sandwich category, and fast food's biggest names got into the battle. Popeyes sold out of the chicken sandwich in about 2 weeks. During that time, analysts say other chicken chains, including Chick-fil-A, lost customers to Popeyes. Americans are ordering and eating more chicken now than ever before. In a highly competitive industry like fast food, brands are racing to stake their claim. Chains that have long relied on chicken, like Chick-fil-A and Popeyes, are in prime position for victory. Others, like hamburger-focused McDonald's, have missed out on dollars spent by chicken-hungry fans. One thing is clear: fast food customers want chicken sandwiches. And the trend doesn't seem to be slowing. Now the big chains are duking it out to deliver, despite supply chain issues and fierce competition. Part of Chick-fil-A's brand messaging has been that it didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. But American Studies professor Psyche Williams-Forson says people have been eating this type of sandwich as long as they've been eating bread and poultry.
There's evidence that lots of early colonial households who could afford the ingredients to make bread and would have any kind of bird would eat bread and bird together. How they did that, is not necessarily known. And of course, on through the centuries, we end up with what we know to be the sandwich, and the chicken sandwich at that.
And competition around the chicken sandwich isn't exactly new either. Ebony magazine searched Black newspaper archives and found ads for the chicken sandwich going back to as early as 1936. Chick-fil-A's founder S. Truett Cathy invented the chain's original chicken sandwich in 1964. That sandwich was made of a boneless chicken breast, breaded and fried in peanut oil, and served on a toasted buttered bun with pickles. The first Chick-fil-A opened in 1967, and the chain has been closed on Sundays since then. Despite that, Chick-fil-A is the third biggest restaurant chain in the US by system-wide sales, and reported more than $10 billion in revenue in 2018. For comparison, Popeyes pulled in $3.7 billion in sales in 2018, making it the 25th largest US chain. When Popeyes' parent company Restaurant Brands International quietly discussed a new menu item in its May 2019 Investor Day, it didn't know that the product's launch would cause such a frenzy. It was the first time in its nearly 50-year history that Popeyes offered a chicken sandwich that was available nationwide. In the past, its menu tended to focus more on bone-in products. This sandwich is a white meat breast filet, hand-battered and breaded in a buttermilk coating, served on a brioche bun. There is one version with regular mayonnaise and another with spicy mayo. Popeyes rolled out its sandwich on August 12, 2019. 1 week later, this sandwich set off a virtual confrontation between some of the biggest names in fast food. Chick-fil-A tweeted an equation suggesting that its sandwich was the original and the best. Popeyes had a simple but pointed response to Chick-fil-A. Y'all good? Their check-in prompted other chicken brands to get into the conversation. Soon, Wendy's and Shake Shack jumped into the Twitter feud too.
This is what people love to see. They love to see kind of folks going at it and in a fun and competitive way, of course. But this is the reality TV series happening in real time with real companies and real dollars and real delicious food at stake.
Those tweets set off a social media firestorm and nearly doubled Popeyes' Twitter followers from 100,000 to 180,000. A marketing group estimated that Popeyes received over $65.1 million in equivalent advertising value from media mentions between August 12th and August 27th. The sandwich's impact was bigger than just raising Popeyes' profile with consumers. It was also a boon to Popeyes' bottom line. Thanks in part to the chicken sandwich, sales at stores open more than a year grew by 9.7% in the third quarter of 2019, compared to 0.5% growth in Q3 of 2018. One analyst estimated that Popeyes sold about 1,000 chicken sandwiches a day, and that the sandwich accounted for about 30% of sales, while it was available, at least. After about 2 weeks with the chicken sandwich on the menu, Popeyes around the country started selling out. It simply ran out of chicken fillets. Fans started posting pictures of handwritten sold-out signs on Popeyes doors and drive-through menus. Popeyes was even hit with a lawsuit by an angry customer for selling out of the sandwich.
I said that you saw Popeyes market share more than double, and then you did see a dip in foot traffic share at Chick-Fil-A, McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's. You know, the actual infamous "y'all good" tweet happened just as Wendy's was launching their spicy chicken sandwich, and just as Burger King was launching the Impossible Whopper nationally. So it sort of took the steam out of those promotions for a few short days.
But the positive impact of Popeyes sandwich wasn't limited to just that chain. The third quarter is the most important part of the year for fast food companies because it includes the summer months, a crucial selling season.
It was a very successful third quarter for fast food in general. I think it was probably the fastest sales growth in several years.
And the chicken sandwich has some responsibility for that sector-wide growth. Hype around Popeyes' national release of its chicken sandwich actually benefited its competitors. Chicken-focused fast food restaurants like KFC and Chick-Fil-A saw traffic spike in late August 2019. Over a typical summer weekend, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's, and KFC would get about 8.3 million visitors, according to foot traffic's analytics platform Placer AI. But at the peak of the chicken sandwich war, the chains had 10.1 million visitors over a weekend. And now, Popeyes has brought its sandwich back. Its nationwide launch on November 3rd, 2019, saw huge crowds. Traffic at Popeyes that day rose almost 300% higher than normal. One analyst estimated that busy Popeyes locations sold up to 1,500 chicken sandwiches per store every day for the first 10 days the sandwich was back, effectively doubling sales volume at those stores. And Popeyes competitors are racing to keep up. In July 2019, McDonald's U.S. franchisees asked the company to add a Southern-style chicken sandwich to rival Chick-fil-A's. Franchisees said McNuggets and McChicken sandwiches weren't enough to compete in the premium chicken sandwich category. On an earnings call, McDonald's said it missed out on some business in chicken. In December 2019, McDonald's started testing a crispy chicken sandwich, officially entering the chicken sandwich wars.
Well, they said on their conference call that they actually lost share in the chicken segment, but they gained share of the burger segment. So clearly this is an issue for them that they're looking to correct. The franchisees have been asking for a premium chicken sandwich for some time. You know, the sandwich isn't likely to be hand-battered and hand-breaded the way it is at Popeyes. So McDonald's will have to find a way to win on their core advantages, which is speed, convenience, and value.
The war is far from over, and if I were to make a longer-term prediction, I would not predict that Chick-fil-A would be a loser in that chicken war overall. There's so much momentum behind the growth of that company and so much brand equity that it just resonates with consumers, young, old, and everywhere in between in a lot of ways.
For decades, hamburgers have been Americans' sandwich of choice on fast food menus. Now chicken sandwiches are stealing some of the spotlight. Chicken sandwiches remain number 2, but they are gaining ground with consumers faster than burgers are, according to market research firm NPD Group. For the year ended February 2019, 4 billion chicken sandwich servings were ordered at U.S. restaurants. During the same time period, burgers were more popular, with 8.6 billion ordered. But chicken sandwich orders were up 4%, while burger orders stayed flat. On average, diners still purchase burgers more frequently than they purchase chicken sandwiches. But burger makers shouldn't rest too easy. In general, chicken consumption is on the rise. From 1960 to 2018, per capita chicken consumption has risen 235% to 93.8 pounds a year. During the same time period, per capita consumption of beef has fallen 9.6%. 1991 was the last year people ate more beef than chicken. In 2018, Americans ate about 94 pounds of chicken compared to 57 pounds of beef.
That's a pretty dramatic difference in that, and that's a reversal from 40, 50 years ago. This was not always the case, and it goes to show what technological progress and changes in consumption habits, those combination of factors can do to change our diets.
Analysts point to three main factors that have contributed to higher chicken consumption: health concerns, technological advances, and a growing population. The National Institutes of Health and the World Health Organization have linked red meat consumption to heart disease and cancer. Some have pointed to white meat, like chicken and fish, as a healthier alternative. Technological advances have also made it possible to produce larger chickens more quickly, and the price of chicken has fallen in recent years.
If you look at what's happened to the price of chicken relative to, say, beef, it's fallen by about 45% over the last 20 years. So today, chicken is about a third of the price of beef at the retail level. Similar things happen for pork. So today, chicken is about half the price of pork.
But in the chicken sandwich war, not all chicken is created equal. Some pieces are better for sandwiches than others. Most fast food chains rely on breast meat for its sandwiches, which is typically more expensive than chicken wings or thighs. Fast food restaurants have offered chicken items for years, but analysts say this social media feud attracted a new generation of consumers.
Certainly the generation that follows social media that might go into a fast casual restaurant, maybe your Chipotle consumer, your Shake Shack consumer, doesn't really look to traditional fast food as having a high quality, up-leveled experience. And so by having a product that is of that that rivals the Chicken Shack, will bring in a generation that's probably never eaten a Big Mac before.
Burger orders may be flat, but despite attracting a new audience, analysts don't think chicken sandwiches will pull ahead of burgers anytime soon.